You're listening to the Get Out of Your Own Damn Way podcast, episode number 103. Wouldn't it be amazing if you had someone who knew exactly what to do in a crisis? Someone who knew what to say, the perfect comfort food to bring, and never left your side. Well, guess what? You do, and she's been there all along. Today, we're going to talk about how you are the wind beneath your own wings. Welcome to the Get Out of Your Own Damn Way podcast. I'm your host, Krylyn Peters. Each week, I bring you inspiring messages to help you create the life you're meant to lead. Buckle up, buttercups. How do you act when someone you love is going through a tough time? I want to know what exactly you do, what you say, how you respond, how you're there for them, how you support them. It could be anything from going to just sit there and let them vent, being a shoulder to cry on, being the one to go purchase the tissues on the way to their place, buying them food, laughing, crying, doing whatever it is they need to get through this time. This is the tough stuff. The tough stuff of supporting someone through grief or crisis. So now I'm going to ask you, what do you do when you're going through it? Do you accept support from other people? Do you accept support from yourself? This is a really hard one, people. It really is. I know I talked a little bit about this in last week's episode on how to be your own bestie, but this one we're getting a little deeper. This episode is about how we deal with it when we're going through a tough time, and we all go through tough times. It could be something like a breakup or the loss of a job or financial difficulty or a health scare. It could be so many different things. And it doesn't matter exactly what it is. What matters is that you're going through a difficult time and you need some help. I know you hate asking for help. You think that you have to do it all by yourself. You think that no one is really going to be there for you, that if you ask for the support, you're not going to get it, or that people are going to just flat out say no. And that is sad. It's sad to be in that space of needing help and not knowing where to turn. I talk a lot about how to find the support that you need to go through difficult times, and I'm sure I will talk about it again. But today, I want to really bring home the point that you really need to support yourself. So in addition to asking for support from other people and allowing them to support you when you're having a tough time, I want you to be able to turn to that beautiful face in the mirror and allow her to help you through this difficult time too. You, more than anyone, are deserving of your own compassion and your own forgiveness and your own love and gentleness when it comes to going through a difficult time. I cannot bring this home enough. You deserve your own love during this tough time in your life. And of course, you may not be going through something difficult right now, but you have, and you've gone through more than one something difficult in your life, and you will go through something difficult again. So this message is for you when you're going through that time. And it's also to listen to now if you're not going through a difficult time, so you know some of the steps to take in how to truly support yourself when times get challenging. So I've got 3 tips. And again, I have a handout that goes along with this episode that has all the tips that I'm going to go over, as well as some additional ones that you just get with the handout. So in order to get the handout for today's episode, simply go to krylyn.com/103 and get that download. And that's krylyn.com/103. So, you ready for those 3 tips? Here they are. Tip number 1 is to plan for extra rest and downtime. We forget how draining, physically draining trauma, drama, and challenges are. We do. I still do every single time. I think, oh, this is supposed to be a good shift, or, oh, I should be able to handle this. And yet, here I am. I'm struggling with my energy. I'm struggling with the ability to focus and concentrate. And what that tells me is that I need a break. And I also know what could be running through your mind right now, thinking that downtime or needing downtime is a weakness. And holy crap, it's not. It is a sign of loving yourself, of being gentle, allowing what is happening to happen. Because you're so used to denying what's happening or not wanting what's happening to be true. I don't want to go through crisis. I don't want this to be hard. And the thing is, that's great. However, what you're doing is you're resisting what is. When you resist what is happening right in front of you, it doesn't help. It only makes things more challenging. So I need you, this is an order to plan for more rest time and downtime when you're going through a difficult time. That means allowing yourself to take more frequent breaks in your work, in your play, just being able to step away, take a nap, take a break out in nature, get some bare feet on some earth and just walk around, just to give yourself a break. It also means getting more sleep. Okay, so it might mean going to bed earlier. It might mean not setting your alarm for as early because your body needs rest. I know I forget, and I wonder if you do too, that when you're going through a difficult time, it takes such a physical toll. Your body processing all of these emotions can really need some extra TLC. So give it in the form of rest and sleep. That is tip number 1 when you're going through a challenging time to help support yourself. Tip number 2 is to nourish your body. And this is through nutrition and through liquids, okay? So I know it can be tempting, because I do it, is to turn to these comfort foods, right? I will admit that chips and chocolate in my house are dangerous. And especially if I'm going through some stress, that's what I reach for. And it might have like a short-term effect of comforting me and soothing me and placating me. However, the long-term effect, especially as I get older, is not so pretty. So what you want to do is, yes, it's definitely okay to indulge in some comfort foods from time to time, absolutely. However, you want to really pay attention to what you feed your body, what you put in your mouth, because that is going to help or hurt in your body's ability to not only process the nutrients, right? So the physical aspect of it, but it's also going to affect how you think, how your brain's working, how you process your emotions. So the kinder that you can be to your body by what you feed yourself, the better it's going to be for how you can deal with all of the emotions, the capacity that you have to deal with whatever is going on. And I also love to talk about your water intake. So water. You want to get a lot of good water, and you want to increase your water intake when you're going through a tough time, because that will help move things along and definitely give your body the nutrition and sustenance and fluids that it needs in order to process what you're going through and to keep away stuff that you don't want, like viruses and bugs. I know for me, my immune system depresses. I know for most of us too, right? So when we're going through a tough time, our immune system gets a little bit wonky and we get more susceptible to catching things because we're not taking as good a care of ourselves. So this is tip number 2, is definitely to pay attention to the nutrition and your water intake when you're going through a tough time, and to really be mindful of that. Tip number 3 to help support yourself and be that wind beneath your wings is to treat yourself to some extra pampering. So hopefully you already have some really good self-care strategies in place, things that on a regular basis you're doing to help pamper yourself. I happen to get massages on a very regular basis, like clockwork, and that's part of my long-term self-care strategy. And when I'm going through a tough time, I might add another massage in there, or I might add some other things in there. So think about what you can do to pamper yourself. So some ideas might be taking a hot bubble bath, again, the massages, using essential oils. It might be spending extra time with friends. It just depends on what pampering means to you. So think about all the wonderful ways, and I suggest doing this when you're not going through a stressful time. Just think of the ways that you like to be pampered or to pamper yourself so that you have some good strategies in mind. When you are going through a tough time, you can just go, oh, well, I know that this is going to be helpful, so then you can go ahead and set that up. So use these 3 tips as you are supporting yourself through any challenging time in your life. And so that you don't have to remember them all by heart or even write them down, feel free to download the handout that goes with today's episode at krylyn.com/103. So please take care of yourself and be that wind beneath your own wings. Thanks for listening to the Get Out of Your Own Damn Way podcast. If you've been inspired, please share the podcast with your friends. You can find us on iTunes or at Krylyn.com. KRYLYN.com.